1.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chatham Select Board April 13th, 2021 meeting. This meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, please notify me. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 23rd, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Chatham Select Board is being conducted via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410. Conference ID 134208476#, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Channel 18, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide for real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. For efficiency, while we're using this remote format, please mute your audio until called on. When the time is appropriate to speak, use the raise your hand feature in the Microsoft Teams app, or if you're on the phone, please speak out and let me know you would like to speak when I ask for comment. Equally important, please disable your video until appropriate time to present or comment. And remember, this is a business meeting. Okay, I'm getting some feedback. So our first we're going to call a roll call. Would everybody just mute their audios, please? That might take care of the feedback. Okay. We take a roll call to establish that we have a quorum from the board members. So we'll start with Board Member Kokolas.
Present.
Board Member Metters.
Present.
Board Member Dykins.
Present.
Board Member Nicastro.
Present.
And the chair is present, obviously. So we do have a full board. Tonight, we have a really hefty agenda. So we're going to move forward, not quickly, but a little, hopefully substantially, but we do want to be efficient in what we do this evening. So our first order of business is to approve the meeting minutes of April 6th. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Are there any substantive edits to the meeting minutes at all? Okay, hearing none, I will take a vote to approve. Peter?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
The chair says aye. So the meeting minutes of April 6th have been approved. Next is our public announcements and agenda item requests. I have quite a few myself, just to let the public know that the select board will be holding a community listening forum on the operation of the Chatham Elementary School on Thursday, April 15th from 6:30 to probably about 8:30, we hope, and that will be via Zoom. The public input is needed to inform the board on the direction it should take to address the concerns of the Monomoy Regional School Committee on decreasing enrollment at Chatham Elementary School and the efforts on students' educational experience and the cost per pupil to maintain the school's operation. Posted in the agenda for that night are the following questions that the community members should consider. Should the regional agreement be open to address the cost per pupil and the educational experiences for students at Chatham Elementary School? Are community members willing to pay more to maintain status quo operations of the Chatham Elementary School? And lastly, should Chatham explore withdrawing Chatham Elementary School from the Monomoy Regional School District? In order to hear from as many community members as possible, for live comments, we're going to have to limit speakers to 3 minutes, but you may send your comments to the select board in advance of the meeting by emailing communityforum@chatham-ma.gov Those comments will be accepted until 4 p.m. on Friday, April 16th. Also, if you go to the monomoy.edu website, you can download or read the Monomoy Regional District Agreement and get a review of that. Additionally, you should save the date for a Monomoy Regional School Committee, Harwich and Chatham residents, families, and educators. They're holding a community forum on May 6, 2021 at 6:30. We'll give you more information later as that comes closer to the date. Also to note, a note to the board, I have sent our condolences to the town of Harwich on the passing of their board selectman, the notable vice chair, Stephen Ford. Also, as a follow-up on the Citizens for Safe Airport versus Town of Chatham, the final deadline has passed and the appeal and the judicial case is closed. But I wanted to let the taxpayers know as of March 21st, 2021, the cost incurred by the town on this matter was $121,503.96. And lastly, we have not scheduled a select board meeting we're considering not, for Tuesday, April 20th. We will resume April 27th. So that's what I have to say for this evening. Is any board members have a public announcement or agenda item request? Any of the staff? Okay, any of the public? Members of the public like to make an agenda item request or public announcement, please raise your hand. I gotta go all the way up. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm a little messed up on I see David Parker. David Parker, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm a parishioner at St. Christopher's Church in Chatham, and I'd like to speak this afternoon in support of including in the warrant for the town's upcoming town meeting an article proposing a ban on the commercial sale of single-use plastic water bottles.
Mr. Parker, you'll
Yes.
have a chance to do that in the public comments section.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah,
I'm in
it's
the wrong section. Pardon
yeah,
me.
that's okay, no worries. If you want to hold off just for a second, we'll ask you to speak at the appropriate time.
Oh, forgive me.
No worries at all. This is public announcements or agenda items request. Mary Ann Harward. Hi, Mary Ann. You want to unmute yourself?
Thank you. Yes, this is a last minute request and I apologize for the speed of this, but I've been working on this for over 2 months after Eversource capped an osprey nest on Champlain Road. And I got approval yesterday from Bob Duncanson to locate an area near the harbor master's area that we could put a new osprey pole. And this land is under the care and custody of the selectmen, and I need your approval to proceed with putting up the osprey pole in this conservation land.
Okay, so we will put that on an upcoming agenda, and we'll get a little clarification from Dr. Duncanson about some of the details because he has his hand raised as well. Bob?
Do I have to wait for that, or can we proceed with inserting the pole? Because the ospreys have returned and are already trying to make a nest on the capped off pole.
We are not, we don't have it on our agenda tonight, Mary Ann, and we'd have to post it and get more details. So we wouldn't be able to go forward with this unless Bob has other details that he can share with me. Bob?
Yes, thank you, Shireen. My conversations with Ms. Harwood, as well as conversations that we've been having with Paul Whiteman, were that this is a potential location because Mrs. Harwood has expressed concern that there's no other private location in that area of town. But we are not ready to bring anything to the board yet. This was strictly a potential site because it was town property, but we haven't done any due diligence yet. So okay. This request is premature.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So Mary Ann, we will put it on a future agenda as an item. Okay. And the town will notify you of when that happens. Okay, any
Thank
other
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Any other public announcements or agenda item requests? All right, so thank you. Thank you, everyone. I don't see any other. We're going to move forward. And I just want to say again, we have a very lengthy, robust meeting tonight. So we're just get to it and go down the agenda. The first order of business is a coronavirus update from our health agent, Judy Giorgio. Judy, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Madam Chair, for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm doing this in Bob's place, who's on the call, so if he needs to chime in, that would be great. But I'm going to be brief, because I do know you have a long night. As of today, there's 314 total cases of coronavirus since the beginning of the pandemic in Chatham. I'm going to share my screen. Bob did share some of his charts with me. So let's see if I can find them. This chart is one that you've seen before that Bob has put together with the number of confirmed cases.
Judith, we don't see the chart yet.
It's not up.
It's not up yet.
Okay, hold on. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Do you see it now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, so this is the chart that shows the number of confirmed cases per month for the whole year, going back to last year as well. And as you can see, for the month of May, we are catching up a little bit towards March. So far, we've had 10 cases this month. We are in a bit of a phase, an increase in, I'm going to share another screen. As you can see, we're in a raising of the incident rate. We're still going up, and that's a concern. Hopefully, we're going to start flattening out, but I think with the upcoming school vacation week, I'm hoping people will be vigilant and do all what they need to do over vacation to be careful. But that's what we're looking at now. I just want to show you a chart that shows the vaccination rates. Oh, and I did want to mention also that Chatham is in the red zone as of last week. So we're not out of the woods yet. This is some better news on our part. The vaccination rates in the town of Chatham are quite good. The Barnstable County says that 50% of the population on the Cape have had at least one vaccine, which is great news. For Chatham, as you can see from this in this bright yellow, our 75 and older group are 93% vaccinated, and 65 to 75 are about 82% vaccinated. And that drops off, obviously, as we get younger in age. But starting April 19th, the vaccine is going to be open to everyone who is 16 and over, depending on the vaccine that's available. I am working as a health agent, a representative to the vaccine, Cape Cod Regional Vaccine Consortium, and the goal is to get out the vaccine out to as many people as possible over the next few weeks, including essential workers, food workers, hotel, DPW, and town employees. And we have scheduled some clinics over the next few weeks. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I can figure out how to do it. Okay. Okay, are we back?
Not yet.
Can you see me now?
No.
I can see you in the bar, but you still have the screen sharing.
Huh. Okay, let's go. All right.
There we are.
Nice. Thank you. So, as you probably know, the big news of today is the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Most of the day has been spent in discussions over that. The federal government has requested a pause or a hold for using the vaccine moving forward. There have been 6 cases of a rare clotting issue, 6 cases out of 6.8 million doses that have been administered. and no cases have been in Massachusetts. We have administered 181,000 cases of Johnson & Johnson in Massachusetts. Basically, in the county, Barnstable County uses mostly Pfizer. Cape Cod Healthcare uses Pfizer and Moderna. Outer Cape Health and the other community health centers are the ones that get the majority of the Johnson & Johnson from the federal government. So as of now, all of their clinics that were scheduled for this week, including our homebound clinic we had scheduled for tomorrow, our second round, which is, too bad, but that's being put on hold. And we have a essential workers clinics and town employees clinic scheduled for next week, which we are waiting to hear how we're going to move forward. Outer Cape Health has indicated that they have put in an emergency request for Moderna vaccine. So there's still a chance that we may be able to hold that clinic next week. But we are having a clinic on Thursday at the Chatham Bars Inn with Cape Cod Healthcare. They're going to be doing about 90 employees, which is good, and they're not using Johnson & Johnson, so that clinic will be moving forward. As far as we moving forward with the J&J vaccine, the CDC is having an emergency meeting tomorrow. They're asking individuals who have received the vaccine to contact their physicians if they're concerned, and if they have appointments with any providers that are using J&J, that they should contact their providers to find out about rescheduling. So that's all I have, just a brief update, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Judith. Any questions from the board for Judith? Any questions from the remote participants for Judith? All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great meeting.
You too. You have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Jill? Update?
Madam Chair, I have nothing further to add. So thank you, Judy, for the update.
Okay, that's great. All right, we're going to move into public comments, and this will be in relationship to our business agenda items. Just as a note, we are going to move, if there is no questions, if there is no objections, board member matters asked me to move the consent agenda item, the Coast Guard letter, into the business agenda, and if we have no objection, I'm just going to move it down there. Okay, all right. So we're going to do public comments on our business agenda items, which includes the petition articles. And Mr. Parker, this is when you get to make your comment. And CPA articles, our budget adjustments, collective bargaining articles, placeholder articles for a property acquisition, a petition article, and two other petition article and a CPA article. So to name a few. So any public comments are welcome at this time. Mr. Parker?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, I'm a parishioner at St. Christopher's Church in Chatham, and I'm speaking this afternoon on behalf of St. Christopher's Earth Honoring Faith Committee in support of including in the warrant for the town's upcoming meeting an article proposing a ban on the commercial sale of single-use plastic water bottles in the town. At St. Christopher's, we are deeply concerned about the deterioration in the quality of the town's natural environment caused in recent years by the steadily increasing volume of litter, particularly single-use plastic water bottles, that has appeared on our beaches, waterways, and roadways. Plastic litter degrades the appearance of our natural environment and diminishes the capacity of our ecosystems to function properly. Many species of seabird, fish, and marine mammals, such as, for example, sea turtles, ingest plastic debris that needlessly harms and even kills them. We strongly believe that human beings are obliged to live in harmony with the natural world, and accordingly, we view the protection of the town's deteriorating natural environment as an issue warranting particular attention at this time. We at St. Christopher's believe that limiting intelligently the use of plastics is an urgent moral imperative. We therefore would like to urge the selectmen to include in the warrant for the upcoming town meeting an article proposing a ban on the commercial sale of single-use plastic water bottles. Thank you very much.
Shireen, you're muted.
Thank you, David. Are there any other comments tonight on our business agenda? All right, we'll move forward then. And
Yes,
our,
hello. Yes, hello,
Okay.
this is Patrick Otten.
okay, go ahead.
Yes, hi. Good evening, Selectmen and Shireen Davis, Chair. I am Patrick Otten and wish to express my support for the proposed commercial plastic bottle ban article, which would prohibit the sale of non-carbonated, unflavored drinking water in single-use plastic bottles of less than 1 gallon. You know, historically, we did not have or need plastic bottles for water. I did not grow up using them. But now the world is covered with plastic. Our oceans, air and soil, plants and animals are filled with plastic. All life is affected by plastic. Plastic is a foreign toxic substance. It's not something our bodies or ecosystems have evolved to deal with. What are the costs to human health, costs to species health, the environment, cost today, and costs in the long-term future? Much more than just the $2 you spend on buying a bottle of water. From the cost of oil wells and related greenhouse gases, the cost of toxic plastic production, the cost of retail sale and use, the cost of disposal, to health costs of diseases and medical conditions caused by plastic. Corporations, the oil industry, will not make the change. The profits are too great because they don't have to pay for the environmental or healthcare costs, but you and I do. Does it make sense to use single-use plastic bottles when you want a drink of water? Water that is sold to you at 9,000 times the price you pay for it at home? That's right, 9,000 times. For the same price you can buy one 16-ounce bottle, you can buy 1,000 gallons of award-winning municipal water thanks to your water department. Plastic recycling, which I follow religiously, is a hoax invented by the industry so we would be more comfortable buying and using more plastic. There's a safe and credible alternative, using your own refillable, reusable water bottle that you use, you keep, you clean, and you take care of. What are the costs of this proposal? The real question we need to answer is, what are the costs to do nothing? Can anyone answer that question? Are you willing to admit that plastic is a problem? Cape Towns, including your neighbors, Harwich, Orleans, and Brewster, have approved this commercial plastic bottle ban. I love Cape Cod. This is the place where I live. There is no away when you throw something away. We can make a choice for what is good for us and the environment. I'm asking that we all consider our behaviors and consequences of our actions. Please support the commercial ban of unflavored, non-carbonated water in plastic bottles of less than 1 gallon. This is a vote about human and environmental health. Send the message that we care. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, are there any other participants wishing to make a public comment before we go into our business agenda?
Hi, yes. Can you hear me?
I can, and please state your name.
My name is Madhi Venkatesan. I am here because Susanna Nickerson has had a little difficulty logging in, and I'm here really as a support to her, but I was hoping I could make a comment on her behalf. She had a little trouble because she's trying to call in. May I make a comment on her behalf with regard to the...
Sure, yeah.
She is the petitioner of the commercial single-use plastic water bottle ban. You just heard from Patrick Otten, and I'm so thankful for David Parker as well. This is a ban that was passed in 7 towns in the fall. As you know, COVID slowed us down last year, and we were on the town meeting warrants last fall. It was passed in Provincetown, Eastham, Wellfleet, Brewster, Orleans, and Harwich, as well as Falmouth. In the year before, we went through the Cape with regard to the municipal plastic bottle ban, and that has now been adopted by 13 towns. It will be on the Truro and Bourne warrant. Those are the only 2 towns outstanding. The rationale for this is not just about single-use plastic bottle, but the bottle itself is something that's ubiquitous. Almost everyone has come into contact with it. The issue is really the normalization of convenience, dispose and use kind of products. Our economy relies very heavily on constant production because that is what we measure when we measure gross domestic product, when we measure economic growth. But we don't necessarily take into consideration things that don't have a market cost. We only consider the things that actually are sold to us that have a dollar value cost, which means that fundamentally prices related to pollution, things that harm human health, and the cost of disposal have not been adequately assessed in the prices of things that we buy. Not just single-use plastic water bottles, but everything. That's why we are a consumer-based economy. But the reality is we become more and more knowledgeable and more cognizant of the fact that that throughput of resource use is something that the environment, the earth, our lives cannot handle, except for a very short period of time. So we're all here asking because we would really love to see the Cape take a leadership stance on this. This is not something that one town alone can make a difference in. But entirety of 15 towns working together, making a stance on a national level, when we don't have national level leadership on the environment. We still have national level leadership that still thinks very much in terms of keeping the same production and consumption level going. So thank you very, very much for your patience, because I'm sure that we're a little long-winded, all of us, but I hope you'll understand our passion and our dedication to this effort. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other public comments on our business agenda items for tonight? Okay.
Sheree,
Yes.
Sheree,
Yes.
can you hear me? Susanna, I did make it onto the call.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
Okay, Susanna, when the time for your petition article comes up, you can make a comment then if you'd like. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'll just note that you're here. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we will go to our next item, which is to authorize, it's on the Coast Guard issue that we've been having in town, the Coast Guard regarding the downgrading of the resources at Station Chatham. We had been meeting, having correspondence with representatives of the U.S. Coast Guard since 2019 on this issue, probably even before. And this is in regard to the downsizing the designation. The Coast Guard has recently made the decision to downgrade the operational capabilities by replacing the two 42-footers with two 45-foot response boats. So the near shore lifeboats are being replaced by the shore boats. So I'm just asking that we're asking permission that you allow me to just send a letter to the Coast Guard in response to our meeting and to continue the conversation going forward. Just any questions from the board? Corey, your hand is up. Go ahead, Corey.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for moving this out of the consent agenda. I'm going to put it very bluntly. I wanted to put it on as a business agenda. I think it's a very important letter. I support it 1,000%. I just want to have it as a business agenda item. I think it raises up to the element of importance that it truly is. We have been meeting with the Coast Guard and some of the representatives, and certain conversations have occurred so far. Unfortunately, we found out certain information was withheld from us in a timely manner. And, I know this letter started out as kind of a thank you for meeting with us, and, we have our concerns, and it's morphed into something much more important and vital and time sensitive for this community. So I do support you sending this letter. I appreciate those who will be CC'd to this letter. I have one small typo I just picked up on in the first line. There's one too many pleases in the first line of the draft. But outside of that, I would support sending this letter out, immediately.
All right. Thanks, Corey. Just so the board does know, this is, we're working on policy and the advocacy side of a campaign here that we'll bring forward to everybody, on this issue. This is not going away at all, in my mind. Jeff?
Thanks, Shereen.
Unmute.
Great letter.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Shereen. Great letter. Fully support it. It's a huge issue, very important issue, as Selectman Metters has pointed out. And, you know, I think we strongly request that our surf station be restored. It's very important to our viability as a port, to our commercial fishing folks, and to other people that use the Chatham waters that can be hellacious at times. So very, very supportive. I hope we enlist the congressional delegation in our pursuit of this. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, I'll take a motion to
Madam
approve.
Chair? Madam Chair?
Yes.
It's
Go ahead,
Peter.
Peter.
I'm on the telephone and you're on TV, and neither my computer nor my iPad can get on. So I'll be on this and still play with my computer there.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to add to the discussion right now, Peter, or was that just an announcement?
No, the only other thing I'd add is I supported. I don't know if I've been off, but the Harbor Master Stu's gave an excellent presentation to the men's club, and they were very supportive. We have a number of people that are writing their congressmen and their
Great.
senators.
Great. Yeah, so we want to thank the Harbor Master for the ongoing effort that he's made in this on this matter as well. Do we have a motion on this? Can I entertain a motion? Anybody? Corey.
Corey, go ahead.
Yes, I move that we authorize the chair to sign the drafted letter that is presented before us to be forwarded out post haste.
Okay, great. Second?
Second.
Okay. All right, we'll take a roll on vote. Did we lose Dean as well?
No, I'm here.
Okay, I'll ask for your vote first, Dean.
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
and chair says aye. All right, we will get on that right away. Okay, so we have a number of petition articles that are in your packet. Just want to note for the public, and I think that I don't know if Jill's gonna bring this forward or who's gonna make the, but I think we'll just go down the list. We're going to do a review and an update of the petition articles these are all carryovers, deferred from 2020 annual town meeting, except the first one has some amended language in it. So in order of efficiency, if there are any discussion, we want to try to vote these down, just vote to place them again. And I don't know if anybody wants to vote to recommend any of them, but if any of the petitioners are on, we will ask for their comments and presentation. Go ahead,
Madam-
Dean.
Yeah, I do have a bad connection here, so hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to recuse myself from the first one, which is Roman numeral 3DA, the single-use plastic water bottle. So I'm recusing myself from participating in that matter. So you'll have a complement of 4 select board members to deal with that item.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. So we are going to go ahead and go through these one at a time. Jill, are you doing this presentation, or is it Alex or me, or who's supposed to be making this go forward here?
So I can certainly introduce the topic. So this one is, as you mentioned, the commercial single-use plastic bottle ban by Susanna Nickerson as a petitioner. And she had submitted it before as a carryover item, but then got the requisite number of signatures to amend it. So the board's being asked to, it's automatically placed on the warrant, so you would vote a recommendation to approve.
Okay. All right. So do we have a motion? Oh, Susanna, you wanted to speak to this. Go ahead, Susanna. The petitioner's on, and we're just waiting for her to speak.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, Susanna, I
Hi.
can.
Yes, great. My name is Susanna Nickerson. I live on Main Street, and I'm the petitioner of the commercial single-use plastic water bottle ban. The rationale for this ban is based on drawing attention to the impact of single-use plastic convenience products. The plastic water bottle is an item that is unnecessary within our society. This piece of plastic we can easily do without, making our lives healthier and reducing our greenhouse emissions substantially. curbing climate change. We have clean and safe drinking water, and we have many ways to transport it and to have it convenient when we need it. We have lived on the planet without single-use water bottles for millennia. We have all been impacted by the single-use plastic water bottles, but not all of us has contemplated their enormous footprint on our planet. Every step of its existence is toxic to humans and animals. It is non-biodegradable, and once manufactured, will be on the planet for hundreds of years. It pollutes our air, our water, and intrudes on every part of our lives with negative impact. Beverages packaged in plastic have been contaminated by, beverages packaged in plastics have been contaminated by the chemicals of the plastic. These are known to be correlated with the autoimmune disease, fertility issues, endocrine disruption, ADHD, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. Recycled plastic bottles can become construction materials, roads, sidewalks, clothing, carpets, etc., leading to more and more plastic in our environment as those items break down. This means more plastics leaching into our food, breathed into our lungs, and affecting our health. The commercial single-use plastic water bottle ban is now adopted in 7 towns on the Cape. They are Brewster, Harwich, Orleans, Provincetown, Wellfleet, Eastham, and Falmouth. It will be easier and better for commerce if all towns on the Cape participate in this action. I hope you, as our town leaders, will support this ban in Chatham. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susanna. Okay. Jill, do we want to just go down all of them and then we'll just do a rapid fire vote on all the petition articles? Does the board feel comfortable with that? Or Jeff, do you want to just go right ahead and start firing away? You're muted, Jeff.
Yeah, I got, I think we should take them one by one. I think we can go quickly.
Okay, go ahead. Jeff,
I move to recommend this petitioned article.
do we have a second? Need a second.
Second, Peter.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's take a vote. If there's no other comment. Corey, you want to comment?
I do want to comment. I don't want to prolong this evening. I think it's important that we address, the plastic issues. I really wish commercial companies would provide more alternative packaging in mass. I mean, there are some box waters. Few companies are introducing some aluminum. I know glass right now is becoming a hard resource. There's a lot of beverages that you've seen in stores and grocery stores and convenience stores that you're not going to see at the moment because of this an issue with glass and packaging and shortage of that. So I do think the community, the public has engaged in a reusable thermos. I mean, God, the Hydro Flask and such of those companies are doing multi-million-dollar sales because people are using them. My 4 kids, they have their own modern water bottle and they use them all the time. So I do think there's a public shift to put some impact on that. My issue with this is all the negative comments that were made about plastic, which I agree with. We're only limited it to a water bottle. We have soda bottles, juice bottles, and everything else that that theoretically would impact in the same way the water. So I just I'm not sticking my hand feet in the sand and drawing a line. I oppose this just because it's such a limited ban. I think those who don't want to buy plastic water bottles are simply just not going to buy them. But I think it's a big giant we're fighting with the water industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I'd love to see some headway on it. I fully respect what the petitioners are trying to do. I actually expect it to pass, but I'm going to vote in opposition of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. All right, well, I'm not going to say too much, but I'm supporting this simply for the fact that I see what's happening to our oceans and the things that we ingest as food. And the issue around plastic is very, very concerning, and it's time to make a stop. All right, is there any other comments from the board? We have a motion, let's take a vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Corey?
Nay.
Dean?
He
Madam
recused.
Chair, I recused.
Oh, he recused, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Peter?
I'm back. Aye.
And the chair says aye. So we have a 3-1-1 vote. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I think that vote needs to be recorded as 3-1 because I didn't abstain. I recused myself from participating.
Oh, sorry about that. 3-1.
That's all right. That's all right, just for the sake of the minutes. And Madam Chair, I have a suggestion about dealing with the remaining petition items in what might be a more efficient way.
Thank you.
So my understanding is, based on the opinion of town council, with which I agree, that the petition articles B, C, D, E, and F, which are refiles, resubmittals on our agenda tonight, need to be placed on the warrant because the original petitions basically died with the adjournment of town meeting back in June 22nd. So the board made a commitment to the petitioners last spring that we would place these on the next town meeting warrant. So I think we should take a vote to place all of these on the warrant, and then we could deal with each one separately in terms of a recommendation.
Okay.
But with one possible exception, because I saw an email from Attorney Litchfield regarding item D, which is the GB1 zone. I understand that is not going to be, we're not being asked to put that on, Jill. Is that correct?
Either that or that no motion, if it is on the warrant, no motion will be offered by the petitioner.
Well, perhaps we should just include it and put it on, and hopefully there'll be no motion. So I'm going to offer the motion that petitions B, C, D, E, and F be placed on the warrant for the annual town meeting 2021.
Thank you, Dean, and for the help. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, we'll take a vote. Okay, let's take a vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Corey?
B, C, E, and F, 4 articles.
B, C, D, E, and F.
B, C, D.
Yes, this is a motion to place.
To place.
Carryovers.
And we're including D?
Yes.
Yes. It's not going to be.
Did you vote, Corey?
Yes.
Yes. All right, I have Jeff, Corey, Dean,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
and chair says aye. All right, now we'll go through vote to recommend. So let's take the first one, which MB, which is climate change. It's the article is being carried over verbatim. So do we have a vote to recommend?
Madam Chair, I move that we recommend approval of this. We had a unanimous vote last time, I think.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Peter, did I jump over you?
Don't
No,
worry.
go right ahead. That's fine. I'm having a little bit of difficulty, so that's fine.
Okay. A second, please.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Let's take a vote. Dean,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
chair says aye. Okay, the next one is C, which is a protective zoning bylaws, clarification of definition of sizes and exemptions for coverage of small sheds. This is going to require 2/3 quantum vote, and it is from the Zoning Board of Appeals petitioners. And the last vote approval was 050 for recommendation. Do we have a motion? Go ahead, Jeff.
Chair,
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
because this is a zoning article, you'll need to have, the board will need to refer it to the planning board for review because it's placed on the warrant.
Right. Okay.
For all of the planning board articles, only the planning board I'm sorry, only the zoning articles need that referral.
Right. Okay. So this needs to be voted to refer to the planning board and a vote to recommend. So
Yeah.
do we need two motions on this one, Jill?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have
I
a
move-
motion? Go
I
ahead,
move to-
Jeff.
I move to refer this petition to the planning board.
Do you have a second?
Second,
Okay. Let's take a vote. Dean,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Peter,
aye.
Corey,
Aye.
and I say aye. All right, a vote to recommend, please.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, Corey?
Madam Chair,
Aye.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a,
can we some discussion on this one?
yeah.
Sure,
yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as was you read, the vote last time was unanimously against this. I had some concern about the exemption from coverage for a shed of 10 by 10. I did speak just before the meeting with the chair of the zoning board to get some clarification, and I'm satisfied that if this goes to the planning board, that issue will be sorted out carefully and responsibly. So I'm going to be voting in support of this tonight.
Okay.
Madam
Thank-
Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, and I echo Selectman Castro's comments. I did speak to Ed Nixon as well, the chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals, and I think that 10 by 10, we can live with one single 10 by 10 shed, and so I think I'll looking forward to hearing from the planning board, but I'm going to vote in favor to recommend in favor. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, any other comments? All right, let's take a vote. Corey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
chair says aye. Okay, all right. The next is the petition protective zoning bylaw, which we've heard is not going to go forward, but we still have to turn it over to the planning board for recommendation. Vote
Move
to
to-
recommend.
Move to recommend to the planning board, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Okay, let's take a vote. Peter,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
chair says aye. We have a vote to recommend.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second it. I'm not sure which way I'm going to vote on this because we
Okay.
don't know if this is going forward.
right.
I'll
know.
second it.
All right. Any further discussion? Okay, no, none. Let's take a vote. Corey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Nay.
Dean,
I'm going to vote an abstention. I just don't know what to do here. Thanks.
okay, Peter,
Yeah, I have the same problem. I abstain.
and I abstain as well. So we have one, yeah.
I can get-
Three abstentions, 1 for, 1 against. Is that what I
Well,
had?
I voted against it, only, I think abstaining is probably the right thing to do.
Okay, do you want to revote?
I do.
Madam.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Jill's got her hand up first and then we'll go to Corey. Go ahead, Jill.
Yeah, I would ask the board to reconsider placing this article on the warrant. The petitioner's representative had said that there was no need for it. I guess let me just say exactly what he had said. And he might be on the call too. He said the article for the expansion of the GB zone need not be included in the warrant. If it is, no motion will be made. So I know the board's a bit conflicted on how to vote, but we'll have the costs for advertising it for the planning board hearing and so forth. So if you want to take that into consideration.
Corey?
I have something else.
No, I said we had given our word that we would carry these over. If the petitioner is clear that they're not going to take any action on this, I'm fine with just taking no action on our behalf. I really am. If they're not going to move it forward, it could get a little bit complicated, and one less article for a very long evening is probably more appropriate. So I'm fine if we don't take any action on this.
Jeff, do you
Or
want
remove-
to?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm fine as well, not taking action on this as well. It's pretty clear from the email that we got that, you know, they're not going to move it. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Dean.
Madam Chair, I move that we reconsider the vote to place this on the warrant.
Second.
Is it a motion to reconsider or a
Yeah.
motion to not place it? Okay.
Well, it's a motion to reconsider our prior vote, and I'll combine it with a request that we also not place it on the warrant.
How
So-
can we vote yes and no? Yes and yes? Okay.
Yeah, Jeff-
Second,
Well, we
Second.
vote, there's a vote vote that's in place to put it on the warrant. I move that we reconsider that vote and not place it on the warrant.
okay. Reconsideration, second.
Second.
All right, let's just try this. Dean,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Cory,
Aye.
chair says aye. Now do we
Madam-
need a motion to,
Madam Chair, I move that we reconsider the referral to the planning board and that we not refer it to the planning board.
Second.
okay? Second, all right, a vote. Peter,
Aye.
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
chair says aye. All right,
Good.
are we good?
Yep, good.
Okay, that was complicated. Okay, the next is a petition article, and it's adopt Mass General Law, Chapter 59, Sections 5C, 5C and a half, 5C and 3/4. This is a residential real estate tax exemption, and this is a carryover from 2021. We have voted to place this already, so we need a vote to a revote to recommend. Am I right? It's already been played. I mean,
Yes.
right? Okay.
I'll
so
move to recommend. I'm not
We
going
have
to
a
support
second.
it. I move to recommend.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on this petition article?
Just, Madam Chair, just quickly, we just had a whole meeting on it. There's a whole bunch of reasons why we shouldn't do it. There's no discussion within the petition on an explanation. I don't think it's appropriate, and I vote against it.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion from the board? If not, let's take a vote. Peter,
Nay.
Dean,
No.
Jeff,
No.
Cory,
No.
and the chair says no. Okay. And lastly, I believe it's lastly, hold on. Nope, not lastly, yes. This is a petition article and debt exclusion ballot question. Design, construction, and equipped a new council on aging facility in Stepping Stones Road. 2/3 vote for this. The petitioner this petition is a carryover for 2020 annual town meeting. We've had a lot of discussion on this issue. Last time the select board voted against recommending this at 5-0-5-0. Has there been any update from the petitioners on this one, Jill, as far as whether they're going to carry this over? I mean, carry through with anything on the floor? Have we heard anything yet?
I haven't heard anything recently. I had a conversation with one of the petitioners and just advised them to either participate at the meeting or provide a formal communication.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on this? Motion?
Madam Chair, I'll offer a motion to recommend.
Second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion on this? Okay, I think this one's been vetted quite a bit. Okay, Cory,
Nay.
Peter,
No.
Dean,
No.
Jeff,
No.
and chair says no. So the vote is 0-5-0, and I will note that the Finance Committee also voted 0-9-0 on this. All right. That is it for the petition articles. Am I correct, Jill?
Yes, you have one new petition that came in, but that is further on the
Further
agenda.
down the road.
Further down.
Further down the road, yeah. Okay. The next are the community preservation articles. We have a number of new ones and a number of ones from last year that are carryovers. I do want to note that Alex has set this up in a memo that is based on in the themes of how they're considered community housing, historic preservation, recreation, open space. So I thought maybe we'd take these in that sort of world and go through them. So Alex, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have to unmute myself here.
Okay.
Yes, as the Chair noted, I've grouped these by category for community housing, historic preservation, and open space and recreation. In your packet, I've noted which articles are carryover from last year and which are new articles. And so I'll just go through the memo for the public's benefit briefly. There are 21 CPC applications referenced in this agenda report. And under community housing, we have, well, let me look at the agenda first. Per the Community Preservation Act, we need to reserve at least 10% of the estimated revenues. That's item H under the agenda report, and there's also an administrative budget. So I would ask that you would vote the administrative budget for $15,000 as recommended by the Community Preservation Committee, and then the reserves, we're recommending a total of $420,000 to meet the 10% requirement for the reserves. So that's sort of the housekeeping statutory requirements for those two articles. Now, I don't know if you want me to pause now and then go through the individual categories afterwards.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Dean.
May I suggest, following up on what Alex was saying, that we take these by groups and treat each group almost like a consent calendar? For example, in this case, there are two items, G and H. We would vote them both at the same time, but if any select board member wishes to have a discussion on a particular item, then that would be removed from the balance of the group, and we would treat that one separately. We would do the same with the housing ones and then the historic ones. There's only one on open space, and then there are a bunch of them on recreation. Because I know one of them, or possibly two, that I might want to see separately discussed. But that's just an option for the board to consider in terms of trying to deal with these expeditiously. I don't know if anybody's going to speak to these in terms of sponsors of or applicants, Alex, or could we have those? Is anyone going to speak? I know Dr. Thompson is not available, at least I understand that.
Yeah, as I understand, Madam Chair, through you, as I understand, I don't know if there are any applicants in the audience right now. The chair of the CPC is not available until after 6 p.m. However, I did record the community preservation votes are listed, what the committee voted in the scorecard. And they all received, obviously, they had to receive a positive vote in order to make it here. So all these applications were felt deemed worthy by the Community Preservation Committee.
Okay. All right. How does everybody feel about doing this in a more consent form, as Dean had described?
Yeah, I
Fine
saw
with it?
that, Madam Chair.
You're fine. How about you, Corey?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
fine.
All right. Okay, so let's take the first two, which are the housekeeping pieces, and that's the administrative budget and the reserve 10% requirement. If there isn't any further discussion, do we have a vote to place? A motion to place, excuse me.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, we'll take a vote. Corey?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
And chair says aye. Okay, vote to recommend.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second?
Second.
Okay. We'll take a vote if there is no further discussion. Peter?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Chair says aye. All right, thank you. Let's go on to community housing.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For community housing, we have a total of 4 applications under this article. They are listed $30,000 for affordable housing consultant, $1 million as a transfer to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, $90,000 for Habitat for Humanity for the project on 11 George Ryder Road South, and $50,000 for the housing feasibility study. Of these, all but the Habitat for Humanity are town-sponsored articles. And this is a total of $1,080,000, are the town applications of the total of $1,170,000 under community housing.
Okay.
And these are all new articles this year.
All new. Is there any one of these items anybody wants to take out for further discussion? Jeff?
No, Madam Chair, I'm willing to move the articles with respect to the housing.
And to place them?
Place them, yep.
Okay.
Second. Second,
Okay.
Peter.
All right, we'll take a vote. Corey?
Aye. Sorry.
Peter?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Chair says aye. A vote to recommend?
So moved, Madam Chair, yep.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all right. Dean?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
And chair says aye. Okay. Historic, Alex?
Thank you. For historic preservation, there are 5 projects this year, of which 2 are carryovers from the prior year. However, the application for the town clock has increased from 9,700 last year to 19,700 this year, and that was due to a misquote when the application was filed last year. So again, 19,700 for the town clock. The town archive storage from the town clerk is the same amount as last year, 135,600. And then there are 3 new projects, one for the Atwood House roof project, the other for the archaeological dig artifacts conservation analysis, and the most recent one for the U.S. Coast Guard boathouse, of which there was discussion. And I want to point out that these 3 new articles have all received letters of support from the Chatham Historical Commission.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, before we accept a motion, is there any one of these items anybody wants to take out to have a discussion upon? If not, I'll accept a motion.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, I would like to extract the one on the archaeological dig analysis of artifacts.
Okay.
And I also want to note for the record that with respect to item O, the Atwood House roof project, I'm a member of the Chatham Historical Society, but I'm not an officer, trustee, or a director, and I did file a disclosure statement. I intend to participate.
Okay, thank you. So I will accept a motion on the historic preservation articles, town clock, town archives, Atwood House roof project, and the U.S. Coast Guard boathouse. Do I have a motion?
Move to place, Madam Chair.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, let's take a vote. Corey?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Chair says aye. Okay, vote to recommend.
Move to recommend, Madam Chair.
Second?
Second.
Okay, Corey?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Chair says aye. All right. Dean, did you want to talk about the
Yeah,
archaeological dig?
Madam Chair, this is one that I have a problem with, and I appreciate the historical impetus, but I heard some discussion of this at the various committees, and it just seems to me as though this is a rather a thin stretch to fund with taxpayer money something that I consider relatively esoteric. I think they're going to be evaluating, for example, the dietary customs of the Nickerson family. ancestors of the town, and that's, I think, not an insignificant issue, but I think it should be funded from private funds. So I'm not going to support this.
Any further discussion from anybody, or is there any is there an applicant on the call who wants to? Is there any questions? Okay. All right, then, seeing none, we will take a vote to place the archaeological dig. Corey?
Madam Chair? I
Yes.
think Michael Thompson on the call, I'm not sure if he's trying to click on.
I don't see him raising his hand. Hold on.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
not coming. Can I just make a note that I'm not seeing if anybody is? So hold on.
Can you hear
Go
me?
ahead. Yes, go ahead, Michael.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I just jumped on. Okay, I would sort of disagree with Mr. Nicastro's argument. Obviously, the committee voted strongly in favor of this. I believe there will be some. It is really a culmination of the excavation. We dug that area was dug up. A lot of things were found there. In particular, they took away a lot of soil samples, and they will reveal some more information about that early residence in Chatham. And I think it is of very excellent historical origins, and those artifacts and results will appear be stored in the museum and the Nickerson House. So I find it an attractive application.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Jeff?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Mike, just a quick question. Is this, you think this is the swan song on the dig there, or what?
Yes, the dig was completed last year and covered in. The corners of the property are marked, and the fireplace is shown, and so on. But yeah, there will be no more work on that, and this is the last part of it. I mean, this is just the analysis of the results. So no, there will be no more applications.
Okay.
And is the analysis being done by a scientist?
Oh yes, by an archaeologist whose name I haven't got with me, but it's the same person who did the dig. He lives in Plymouth.
Okay, thank you.
Any other? Alex, your hand's up. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I have a copy of the application here, and it was Craig Chartier who interpreted the site, and I believe that's the archaeologist who will conduct the study. And then some of the artifacts will be conserved and displayed, as Mr. Thompson said.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, if there are no further questions or clarifications, I'll take a motion to place.
I'll move to place, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Corey. I mean, second. I was looking at Corey like he'd second.
I'll second. I'll second.
Okay, thanks, Corey. All right. Okay, we'll take a vote. Peter?
Aye.
Dean?
I'm going to vote aye only because I think they're automatically possibly placed by statute. So,
Right.
vote yes.
There should have been a vote to recommend, sorry.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Chair says aye. All right, vote to recommend.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay,
Aye.
let's take a vote. Corey?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Dean?
No.
Peter?
Aye.
Chair says aye. Right, so that was a 4-1-0. Okay, all right, we're going to move down to the recreation. Alex, go right ahead.
Madam Chair, we have the open space for the Frost Fish
Open
Salt
space.
Marsh.
So
That's
sorry.
the next one. There is only one for open space. I think it's last in your agenda packet, but it's next on the listing.
Thank you.
And this is a carryover from last year, and this is for $75,000. And the board did support this 5-0 last year prior to its postponement.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Move to place.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, let's take a vote. Corey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
chair says aye. Vote to recommend the frost fish salt marsh study.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, great. Let's have a vote. Corey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
chair says aye. Okay, now we'll go to the recreational articles. Go
Thank
ahead,
you, Madam
Alex.
Chair. Yeah, thank you. There's quite a few recreation articles this year, being a very popular category. As you can see, there are 2 new recreation articles. The remaining are all carryover from last year, with the good news that they are exactly the same, except for the application for the Old Mill Boatyard Stair Platform from Coastal Resources Ted Keon, which has been reduced from $90,000 down to $45,000. So again, I'll just run through them quickly. The Revolutionary War Memorial, the bike crossing lights, ADA access at town beaches, the Sears Park plantings and restoration, Seaside Links invasive removal for $86,000, Jackknife Beach site plan for $50,000, the Old Mill Boatyard stairs, as I mentioned, $45,000, rail trail milestone markers for $2,400, the Pleasant Bay Community Boating ADA dock for $25,000, and then the new 2 applications for this year are a new 7th and 9th Tees study for Seaside Links for $8,000, and the Old Colony Rail Trail expansion study for $25,000.
Okay, before we vote on these, are there any that the board wishes to take out of the consent and ask some questions? Go ahead, Dean.
Madam Chair, I'd like to take out for discussion purposes the Jackknife Beach and the bike trail crossing lights.
Okay. And that's the bike crossing lights.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Are there any others? Jeff?
Madam Chair. Yeah, I have comments on the golf course initiatives, as well as a comment on the stairs. That one.
Okay.
Brief, very brief.
Okay. On the stairs. All right. Okay. So let's take the other ones and we'll vote them to place, and then we'll have those discussions. A vote to place the Revolutionary War Memorial, ADA access at beaches, Sears Park planning, Seaside Links invasion. You're going to speak to that, Jeff?
Yeah, just briefly. Yep.
Okay. Well, not that one. Rail trail milestone markers, PBCB ADA dock, the Seaside Links 7th and 9th. Are you speaking to that too, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay, we won't take that one. And the OCRT expansion study. Did that make sense, guys, or should I say it again?
Yes. Is the Old Mill Boatyard access included in that package?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me read it again. Revolutionary War Memorial, ADA access at beaches, Sears Park plantings, Old Mill Boatyard stairs, rail trail milestone markers, PBCB ADA dock, and OCRT expansion study. Jeff.
I actually wanted to make a comment about the stairs, the Old Mill Boatyard stairs. Sorry, but
okay, we'll take those out too.
Yep.
All right, this is not going well.
Sorry.
Yeah, fine.
I move that we, Madam Chair, I move that we place the remaining items in this grouping.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. All right, let's take a vote. Corey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
chair says aye. Vote to recommend.
So moved.
I have motion to recommend, excuse me. So move. Second.
Second.
Okay, let's go through them. Corey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
chair says aye. All right, bike crossing lights. Let's have a discussion.
Madam Chair, I'm the one that extracted this. I just really had a question because I saw some email correspondence this afternoon that Alex forwarded to the Finance Committee that indicated that this was going to be forwarded to the Traffic Safety Committee before the Select Board would be asked to endorse it. Am I misreading something, Alex, or where's it stand? Is this ripe for our decision making tonight? That's what I really want to know.
Yes, Madam Chair, if I may clarify, I did receive an email and I forwarded it to the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee has yet to vote on this article, make a recommendation, because they had questions on whether the Traffic Study Committee had weighed in on the bike trail crossing lights on Old Queen Anne and Stepping Stones. So I forwarded that sort of as a point of information that the Cape Cod Commission had come down and looked at this intersection previously. And it's my understanding that any changes in configuration of that intersection would be brought to the Traffic Safety Committee at a future date. So not before this town meeting, but at a future date once this study is looked at, and then to the Board of Selectmen for your approval prior to any work being done at that intersection.
So where does that leave this particular item?
Well, again, without any funding, there would be no project. So if the board doesn't approve of the configuration as it moves forward, or the traffic study or the Traffic Safety Committee doesn't make the recommendations, I wouldn't see it going forward until there's an approved project by the board.
So are you saying that this should still go forward to town meeting?
Yes,
With
that
recommendation from the Select Board?
Yes.
But
Please.
after the traffic safety study is done, and they come back to us and say, perhaps they could say, we don't want to do this, then the selectmen could kill the project, basically.
That's correct, because it is on a town-owned road.
Is that correct? Connection is off.
That
My
is-
connection is off, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything more to say on it. I'm happy to forward it along to town meeting, so I'll move to place it.
Okay, we have a second. All right, let's take a vote. Corey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
chair says aye. A motion to recommend.
A motion to
moved.
recommend.
Here, yeah.
Madam Peter.
I hope Shauna got that. Second?
Second.
Okay, Jill, your hand's up.
Yes, Madam Chair, if you could just read what article you're taking a vote on right now? Are
Sorry.
you on the bike trail crossing lights, or are you
Bike
on?
crossing lights.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
Thank
making a motion on the bike crossing lights. Yes.
that's right.
Okay. So we're going to take a vote to recommend. Peter,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Corey.
Aye.
I'm confused by this. I'm going to abstain. I don't know if I'm going to abstain. Okay. Seaside Links invasive removal. Jeff, you brought this up.
I did. I just wanted to highlight it, and I'll be very brief. The project, I don't think the golf course removal and planting gives it the project justice. They're really going to do a makeover and do a lot of really neat planting. So I just wanted to air that these folks are working really hard on a good plan. It's really going to improve the golf course. And with respect to the 7th and 9th Seaside Links tees, you guys, we've been teeing off on plastic for decades. You can't even get a tee into the plastic. It's so hard. This is drastically needed. And I just want to take the opportunity to let the town know that this is an abomination, that we need to do something about these 7th and 9th tees. And you'll hear about it again and again. This is the design work, but we're going to we need to do something about these tees. It's an embarrassment. That's all. So I would like to place the golf course invasive removal and planting on the warrant and move to place.
Move to
Second.
place. Second by Corey. Okay, let's take a vote on the Seaside Links invasive removal to place on the warrant. Peter,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Jean,
Aye.
chair says aye.
Move to
Vote to-
recommend, Madam Chair.
Second,
Second.
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 okay, all right, Dean,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
Peter.
Aye.
Chair says aye. All right, we have,
Madam Chair, move to place the 7th and 9th T Seaside Links Ts on the warrant, please.
okay, vote to, a second,
Place, yep.
second,
Second.
Second.
okay, need a verbal. Okay, all right. All right, let's take a vote. Peter,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
chair says aye. All right, Jackknife Beach Site Plan.
Yeah. Did you take a vote to recommend?
Recommend, move to recommend the Ts at Seaside Links.
This is
Second.
going well tonight. Yes,
Wait,
second.
wait. It is going.
It is
Okay.
going well.
Don't jinx it.
We have a
It's
vote
been-
please, in second.
been- Yep.
Well, I'm just hoping Sean is keeping up with us. Okay, and this is for the 7th and 9th T. Okay,
Yes.
okay, we'll take a vote. Corey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Can you hear me?
yes, chair
Okay.
says aye. Okay,
My
now we'll
connection-
move on. Jackknife Beach Site
Yeah.
Plan. Dean, you brought this up.
Madam Chair, I really wanted to ask Alex a question on this, but while I have the floor, I do want to compliment Dr. Thompson and the Community Preservation Committee for the way they handled the boathouse. I really think it was very helpful to the whole process.
Yeah.
Jackknife Beach. Alex, I noticed that the vote on from the Finance Committee was 6-3. Do you have any recollection? I didn't happen to watch that portion of the meeting, or that perhaps not that meeting at all. Do you have any recollection as to what the concerns were of the 3 members who voted no on that? Or maybe Dr. Thompson.
That, if you like, Alex.
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay. Yeah, there was there was 1 or 2 people in the Financial Commission who were unhappy with the idea of the town continuing to bring consultants into different projects. And I think that was the issue here. The idea of Jackknife is, as you know, there are issues there. There's the access, that steep hill, the potholes, the road that gets flooded, the grass, the dune that's being worn away by people trampling across it, and so on. So the idea was to bring in a couple of, maybe 2 experts, somebody on the conservation side and somebody on the access side, the public access side. So I think that's where the objection was, and I'm not sure they fully appreciated the idea of bringing in expertise.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, I move to place this article on the warrant.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
Second, yep.
Okay, we're voting on the Jackknife Beach Site Plan to place. Dean,
Aye.
Peter. Peter,
You're muted.
Yeah, I'm muted. Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
Jeff.
Aye.
Chair says aye. Okay.
I know it.
I think the last thing we're discussing is the Old Mill Boatyard Stairs and
We need to
Move
move
to
to
recommend.
recommend, Shereen.
That
Move to
one.
recommend.
Jackknife Beach, move to recommend.
Yep. Second.
oh, second, sorry, move to recommend, second. Okay,
Second.
we'll take a vote. Corey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
chair says aye. If I don't make a note for both of those motions, I lose track. Okay.
Yep.
All right, we're good. Okay, Old Mill Boatyard Stairs and Platform. Who brought that up?
I
Jeff.
did. I just wanted to say, good job cutting that expense in half from 90K to 45K. Good job. Now, I wonder where the 90K came from, but anyway, good job. It's wonderful. And I moved to place it on the warrant.
Okay, and a second.
Second.
All right, well, let's take a vote. Jeff,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
chair says aye.
Move to
Vote
recommend, Madam Chair.
and a second.
Second.
Okay, we'll take a vote. Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Corey.
Aye.
Chair says aye. All right, is that it for the votes for tonight on the CPA?
Yes.
Michael, and Alex, Michael, we'd like to thank, would you please convey our thanks to the committee for their good work this year? And we'll see you at town meeting.
Will do. We have another meeting tomorrow on a.
Yeah, right, you have one more article and we'll be discussing that in a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Alex. All
Thank
right,
you.
Alex is back up though. Budget adjustments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an annual article that we asked be placed on the warrant as we're reviewing whether any current year budget adjustments are necessary. I'm going through the expenditures right now to see if there's anything, and I don't have an amount, but if you would place this on the warrant, we can update you as we go forward, and we would look for a recommendation on town meeting field.
Okay. I like that, field, not floor. We're reminding everybody we're outside this year. Jeff?
Move to place, Madam Chair.
Second.
Second. Okay, we have a second. All right, any further discussion or questions for Alex? Okay, seeing none, let's take a vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
And the chair says aye. And we will do a recommendation on the at town meeting. All right. The next is consideration of ratification of successor collective bargaining agreements. It's Jill. These are articles from you?
Yes, well, yes. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have Megan Downey, our HR Benefits Administrator, to present the collective bargaining status report for the ratification as well as the draft articles.
Okay, great.
Megan, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Megan. Welcome.
Good evening, Madam Chair. So I just wanted to give an update on the collective bargaining unit agreements for 2 of the 5 of our unions. We have come to a tentative agreement with 2 of the unions, and I was hoping to update you as well as pass on our request that you approve the collective bargaining warrant article at the June 12th annual town meeting. It should be noted that the town's unions have agreed in the past to the local municipal revenue growth factor in previous CBAs. This formula provides for an annual cost of living based on the Chatham economic performance by certain indicators. The formula for fiscal year 2022 provides for a 0% cost of living increase as it's based on revenue received as of October 2020. However, movement to anniversary step increases are contractual, and those costs have been built into the fiscal year 2022 budget scheduled for the annual town meeting on June 12th, 2021. The following is a summary of our tentative agreements and the fiscal impact in the attached MOAs that were in the packet for this evening. The New England Police Benevolent Association Local 115, which is our union for the Chatham Police Dispatchers and Animal Control Officer, and is comprised of 5 members. Our first tentative agreement is to increase of the shift differential stipend for the overnight shift, which is paid quarterly, from $220 per shift to $225 per shift. No additional funding is required for this increase. Memorialization of the current practice of paying out or allowing of the carryover of unused compensatory time not to exceed 40 hours at the end of each fiscal year. No additional funding is required for this provision. Addition of the state holiday June 19th to the list of holidays and change to the holiday that's currently listed as Columbus Day to be listed as Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day moving forward. No additional funding required for that provision. Clarification links to be added to the training stipend. The training stipend is already provided for in the CBA, but this would clarify that the stipend applies to both training of newly hired dispatchers and newly hired police officer trainees. No additional funding is required for this provision. And the final tentative agreement that does have a fiscal impact is the additional pay scale steps of a step 8 and a step 9 added to the current wage scale, which is part of a market adjustment that's based on our salary survey of local comparable dispatch units. This adjustment is to provide for employee retention and will have a fiscal impact in FY 2022 of $1,615. Moving on to the Chatham Sergeants and Patrol Officers, the MCOP Local 296 Union, which is comprised of 18 members. We have a tentative agreement to change the language in regards to the probationary period for new hires. Currently, the probationary period for new hires is 12 months in total. We are looking to change it from a period beginning on the date of hire and lasting 12 months beyond successful completion of the police academy and field training. This would be a probationary period for new hires only. Probationary periods for newly promoted sergeants within the Chatham Police Department will be at 12 months in total. No additional funding required for that provision. Emergency details, which will be defined as details requiring officer response within 2 hours from the time of the request, are to be compensated at a rate of $75 per hour. This new rate is separate from the routinely scheduled police details, and it will not apply to any emergency details requested by the town of Chatham. Compensation for these details are billed directly to the vendor requesting the detail, so no additional funding is required for this proposed increase. Our next tentative agreement is to increase the current clothing allowance or reimbursement for the purchase of footwear from $200 biannually to $200 annually. No additional funding is required for this proposal. And our final tentative agreement is a market adjustment provided an increase to the pay scale, which would affect only officers at the top step, which is step 9 of the collective bargaining agreement, and sergeants. This adjustment is based on the salary survey that we completed of local comparable police departments and is also to provide for employee retention. The fiscal impact of this adjustment for FY 2022 would be $29,085. which would make the total fiscal impact for the police department unions as a result of the negotiations $30,700. It is respectfully recommended that the board vote to ratify the memorandum of agreement for a successor collective bargaining agreement between the town and NEBPA Local 115 effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024. Ratify the memorandum of agreement for a successor of collective bargaining agreement between the town and MCOP Local 296 effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024, and place the collective bargaining warrant article on the June 12th, 2021 ATM warrant for funding cost items associated with the police-related successor CBAs for $1,615 and $29,085 respectively, totaling $30,700, and vote to favorably recommend the collective bargaining warrant article at the annual town meeting warrant.
Great, thank you so much, Megan. Any questions for Jill or Megan? Dean? You need to unmute, Dean, if you don't mind.
Thank you. I'm fine with everything that's been recommended. I just had a question on one item, and this is under the dispatchers and animal control officer on the holiday issues, the holiday topic. Has the legislature or has the federal government made any change in the designation of Columbus Day? Because that was his holiday. I'm not objecting to what's being proposed here. I'm comfortable with it. But Columbus Day was initiated as a national holiday at the behest of the Italian American community in the United States, and I just wondered if legislation has been enacted to formally change the name of that particular holiday, either at the federal or state level, if you know.
I haven't seen that yet. The only legislation for the other holiday is the Juneteenth, 19th, and that's a state holiday, and there's legislation for that, but I haven't seen the change, and we can certainly research it. This was
Well-
something that the union had noted was in play with other municipal agreements to
Yeah.
rename or have it co-named.
I'm fine with that. And just speaking as an Italian American, I hope old Chris continues to stay in there, notwithstanding any imperfections he may have had. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean. Jeff?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve the memorandum of agreement for a successor collective bargaining agreement between the town and the NEPBA Local 115 effective 7/1/21 through 6/30/24. Police dispatch as an animal control officer.
Do we have a second on that?
Second, Peter?
Peter? Okay, do we have further discussion? Peter, your hand was up. I'm wondering.
Yeah,
if that was-
well, no, my only comment is I think it's, all this is well deserved. I don't have a problem with any of it. I just want to note how I feel that we have an excellent police department and fire department, and this is just an outstanding agreement that they have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Okay, any further discussion on the first motion? All right, if not, we'll take a vote. Dean?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Corey? Unmute, please, Corey.
Sorry about that. Aye.
Okay, and the chair says aye. Right, do we have a motion to ratify the memorandum, approve the memorandum of agreement for the successor collective bargaining agreement between the town and MCOPS Local 296, effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024?
So moved, just as you stated.
Okay,
Move to approve. Yeah,
second.
second.
All right, any further discussion? We'll take a vote. Peter?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Chair says aye. All right. Motion to place the collective bargaining warrant article on the June 12th, 2021 annual town meeting warrant for funding of cost items associated with the police relating successor CBAs for $1,615 and $29,085 respectively. Motion?
So moved.
So move.
Second?
Second.
If no further discussion, we'll take a vote. Corey?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Chair says aye. Okay, a motion to vote to favorably recommend the collective bargaining warrant article on the June 12th, 2021 annual town meeting warrant.
So moved.
Motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second?
Second.
Verbals? Okay, verbally, please. All right, let's take a vote. Dean?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
And the chair says aye. All right, thank you. Thank you. Good job, everyone. Jeff, did you have a comment?
I did. I want to thank and commend Megan and Jill and the team for a great job.
Yeah.
No, really great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's easy with our unions in general. It's very easy negotiation. So I'm very pleased to report that.
That's good to know. That's good stuff. All right. All right. The next item is a placeholder article. And this is for property acquisition for affordable attainable housing at 1533 and 0 Main Street. We're placing this article right now on the warrant. And there's no dollar amount indicated because we're still in negotiation with the property owners. As you remember, the town had issued requests for proposals for purchase of private real property suitable for attainable and affordable housing, and this came in the fall. So we're still negotiating with the members of the owners and the representatives, and if this is placed tonight, we'll hope to be able to have further information and update as we go forward, and details will be shared with the public at that time. So any discussion or questions anybody has on this particular recommendation, but basically we're voting to include this as a placeholder for the annual town meeting. Okay, no questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
Yeah, Madam Chair, it's Peter. I move that the board vote to include the placeholder article on the 2021 annual town meeting warrant.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay, we'll take a vote if there's no further discussion. Peter,
Aye.
Jean,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Larry,
Aye.
and the chair says aye. And so a vote to recommend will be at a later date at town meeting, obviously. All right, great. Okay, we have a couple of other articles that came in last minute over the just before the weekend, before we closed the agenda for tonight. The first one being a petition article, and this was submitted on Friday, I believe, by Carolyn McClellan. And this is an article to see if the town will vote to declare the property at 127 Old Harbor Road as surplus to its need and direct the select board to contribute 127 Old Harbor Road to the town's attainable and affordable housing inventory, and further vote to raise and appropriate and transfer funds from available funds, such sums of money as it deems necessary for making repairs and site improvements at 127 Old Harbor Road in order to make the structure safe and available for habitation as a contributing asset for Chatham's attainable and affordable housing plan, and to authorize the select board to take any other actions necessary to carry out the provisions. So we have the petitioner on, and that's Carolyn McClellan. I don't know if she wants to speak to it, but I see Corey's hands raised. If we could just have Carolyn speak first. Corey, if you're okay with that? All right,
I'm
and then
fine
we'll
with-
have, okay. All right, go ahead, Carolyn.
Okay, hello, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to hear this petition. Basically, I think there's 3 points to be made around the petition. One is that the need for housing is blatantly obvious. I think most of us can agree on that. I'm not going to restate all the devastating facts about housing need, AMI, affordability gaps, current housing prices, and the tragic circumstances our neighbors find themselves in. We've discussed these things many, many times. But we do need to understand something else, and that is, in this moment, we as a community, and especially those of us here now acting as stewards of the town, have an obligation to act in a meaningful way. So the first point is that we're in a housing crisis and we need to move forward. The second point is, why this property? And I'll ask you, why not? I've asked a number of people in town about the housing, the articles we have on the warrant pertaining to housing, trying to get a measure of how everyone feels about it. And more often than not, the first response is, why aren't you building on 127 Old Harbor Road? And I don't have an answer for that. It's centrally located, and that was a major complaint about Middle Road. It's already a cleared lot. We're not damaging an ecosystem. It's actually a good size. We could definitely build it out to be more than one unit. And it's simply deteriorating as we speak, and we would be improving the property. Now, if your argument, I heard a couple of arguments. One was abutters, and we hear about abutters on every single parcel that we consider. So that's just something we're always going to have to deal with. And one of the other arguments was that the lot was too valuable for housing. But I would argue, find me a centrally located lot in Chatham that's not valuable. All of them are. And I also would contend that that particular argument is rooted in a lack of commitment to solving housing crisis that we're in, where housing is always considered the least valuable investment. You could always find a reason not to build on a property. There's always going to be some individuals running every idea down, but we're supposed to be problem solvers. If someone were to buy that property, they would make it into a beautiful home and they'd build it out as much as possible. They would build out the barn, just like the abutter did. And it would be a summer home and it would be great for them. But it wouldn't be so great for the potential homeowners, potential year-round local people who could have lived there and had a home. So it would be, this is exactly what we're trying to avoid. McMansions being built and locals being squeezed out of the opportunity to have a home. The third point is, why now? We already have a couple of housing items on the warrant. Hopefully they'll get voted in. And why add something new? And it's basically because we want a plan. A plan is a commitment to the future. After the town meeting, we're scheduled to have a consultant to engage the community and make assessment so that we have a real-time snapshot as to the community's current needs, whether we want to do capital A, attainable, rental, home ownership, families, singles, or seniors, whatever we need. Then we can look at these properties and we can make smart decisions as to what would be the best way to develop them. And it's not going to happen all at once. It's going to happen over a period of years. But we want Chatham to be smart, thoughtful, and deliberate in its housing development. We want to end up with something the whole town can be proud of. And I think if we work together as problem solvers, we can achieve that. And I think our year-round local families and our seniors deserve our best efforts. I know when you make decisions, you have all sorts of variables to consider, but don't forget, please don't forget our year-round population. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Carolyn. Everybody wants to weigh in on this article. So Corey, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you can allow me a little flexibility on this one, because it's a little bit more complicated in my comments here. Well, first of all, I appreciate the passion for the affordable and attainable housing topic for the community. I do appreciate that tone very much. Over the weekend, I was contacted by several people who, and I frankly, I hope some of the comments that are circulating have very little truth into them. But anyway, you know, I've been suggested that I recuse myself from this process because a cousin of mine actually has a home on Old Harbor Road and is an abutter to this property. So that is true. It's not a conflict. I know politically it's probably the safest bet for me to do right now, but as the previous speaker mentioned, we are stewards of the property, and unfortunately sometimes I need to act when it's less politically favorable sometimes. So this perceived conflict of interest is out there. It is true. A cousin of mine is an abutter, and I'm not going to hide that. You know, I have a duty to weigh in on from different lenses when we come to municipal property, and my opposition to this is in no way, shape, or form any opposition to affordable, attainable housing. I mean, we are moving forward on that in several areas. You know, with town property, private properties, etc. And I think that is a wonderful step forward for the community. But this property has nothing to do with an opposition position for me on affordable, attainable housing. It has been, and it still is. There's two issues that I bring up. One is, you know, we are in a very engaged conversations right now with the status of our elementary school. Clearly I'm supportive of our elementary school, and I hope it moves forward and thrives and continues to serve this community as it has for decades. But when you have the only municipal property adjacent to the elementary school, I would caution moving forward and doing anything with it until we figure out the status of our elementary school. Whether it moves forward, which is the path I'm hoping for. I know there's others that prefer that as the potential site for Council of Aging. From a planning perspective, you don't need to move forward on this parcel at the moment until you clearly understand the plans for the elementary school parcel. That's my position on that. And the second issue I have is the issues with the deed restriction on a piece of property that is gifted to the town. I would love it if we could. If you had an affordable unit that could be given to a Chatham or Monomoy Regional's teacher for housing, that's a wonderful concept, but I don't believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I do not believe we can be that selective in that process. Unfortunately, the system isn't designed that way. But when a piece of property is given to the community for and there's the deed restriction in place. And we've batted this property back and forth over for quite a few years. Different concepts have been thrown out there. And the best of my memory serves me is we've always kind of steered away from certain things because of the deed restriction. Now the deed restriction is expired. Legal opinion is suggested that we can move forward with quite a few things on this parcel. But I would prefer to move forward on this land within the spirit of what the original deed was. So I tread lightly with going against what a deed restriction wishes of a family were on a parcel, even if it is a pure and true topic like affordable attainable housing. I got to keep stressing it's nothing against affordable attainable housing. It's just the mechanics of a piece of property is given to the town, and for 30 years, whatever we've abided by the deed restriction, and so it expired. I still think we have a moral obligation to kind of abide by that deed restriction and be good stewards to that parcel and to move it forward in that same vein of concept and wishes of the donating family. So, if there's something that can be shed, about that, the family's wishes, I struggle mechanically and philosophically with going with that component of this conversation. So, again, I respect the position of the petitioner to move forward, considering affordable attainable housing, but it's there's just too much mechanics right now. I'd rather keep our eyes focused on Middle Road and all the other projects that we're queuing up, because we do need to make significant strides in the affordable attainable housing inventory of this community, and we need to do it soon. And I respect it, but for this particular parcel at this particular time, I think we need to address both the elementary school status, and if someone could please, going against the philosophical wishes of the family for the deed restriction. Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. Peter.
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam Chair. And let me say, Carolyn did a extremely nice job in presenting her case. And I looked at the petitioners, and there are a number of people there I very much respect. And I have to agree that affordable and attainable housing is not only a priority, but we're in a crisis. And I firmly believe that. We've been looking at this for 4 years. Having said that, I believe this board is taking aggressive action to get affordable and attainable housing. We're moving ahead on Middle Road, large piece of property, a piece of property with a few acres on South Chatham, and we're looking at potentially at something in West Chatham. We, as a board or the town, I think Carolyn stated it well at the end. You need a plan. We've moved ahead on the most aggressive way I think we can, which is to look at the larger properties and to move ahead and get something done within this next year to make that happen. This piece of property is a single piece of property. I'm not saying it shouldn't be affordable housing, but it belongs to the town right now. And yes, I can understand why you just add one more and it's a problem. I believe we have to move ahead on the big parcels, and we have to keep our focus on that, and we have to get that through town meeting. I don't see any reason why, assuming we can get money for a consultant and so forth, that this piece of property and others, there are a number of others, individual pieces of property that should be put into a plan, a comprehensive plan for the town. And I struggled with this. I struggled with it when it first came up. I struggled with it last week. I struggled with it over the weekend. I can make an argument either way, but my problem is maybe I've been here too many times, and once you start expanding it too much, we're going to have problems with getting it through. I believe potentially, and that's just, it's just my feeling. I believe we could have moved ahead with affordable and attainable housing a number of years ago. And just to make a point, it took us a little time to get ADUs through, something as simple as that, which could be on a page and a half. But it was passed. And there is a change, I think, in the town to move ahead. But I think just adding this piece of property, we're not buying it. It's in the town. It's in the town. It belongs to the town, and it's not going into any private corporation right now. And so I know and I'm, as I say this, you can tell I struggle, but I still believe firmly that we need to progressively move ahead where we can get the most bang for the buck. And that's in the larger pieces of property. And we can start looking at this next year, and we could have another set of properties and how we're going to proceed from whatever we get out of this town meeting. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I think we see Dean. Dean, you're next. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Recently the Select Board voted 2-3 not to proceed with this proposal. And we've been working, as everyone knows, in collaboration with the Affordable Housing Trust and with the relatively recently renamed Community Housing Partnership on the broad issues of affordable and attainable housing, including projects we hope can take place on Middle Road, the Jordan property in South Chatham. We're negotiating for the Buckley property in West Chatham. And we've undertaken projects on George Ryder Road with Habitat for Humanity. And a couple of years ago, we did the house on Crowell Road, put that in the Marconi inventory. We've also got on the warrant a couple of articles that deal with special legislation in this area. So I guess I'm a little disappointed that this item has now been taken to town meeting, because the word partnership to me suggests working cooperatively and not at cross purposes, however well intentioned. I think this particular property to be put into the housing inventory is not a very, I think it's a rather short-sighted idea. I've said before, and I'll reiterate, I think this is too choice a property for this purpose. It's not the highest and best use. I think it's best to preserve this property for future use in town municipal purposes. It provides too little return on the investment that we'd be making. The most you're going to get out of this are 1 or 2 units for dwelling purposes. And there's absolutely no legal guarantee that I'm aware of that it would be occupied by a Chatham resident. We've heard it suggested it could be a teacher or a firefighter, but there's no guarantee on that. And as Select Board Member Metters mentioned, it's adjacent to the Chatham Elementary School. We're going to have a forum on Thursday night, which I had proposed, to discuss the future of the Chatham Elementary School. I think it's best to defer any dedicated use of this property pending resolution of the efforts to save Chatham Elementary School. I think if you're seriously interested in saving the elementary school, you should not want to encumber this property at the present time. There's also a potential use of this property, for those who might remember, that we've been working on. There's been a group working on efforts to try to attract an academic research facility into Chatham, which would create jobs. It's conceivable that could be placed there if that ever were to come to fruition. So, I respect what people are trying to do here, but I just don't think it's the right thing to do. And frankly, I think it could serve potentially as a distraction from the broader items that are going to be on the warrant for affordable housing on June 17th, and perhaps even a distraction from the senior center, which is on that warrant, which is of considerable importance in this town. I would also remind everyone that in order for this to be effectuated, in addition to a vote from town meeting, which is going to require a 2/3 vote according to town council, it would also require a majority vote from the Board of Selectmen to declare the property surplus. And so those are two hurdles that would have to be surmounted. But in any event, I just don't favor this proposal. And those are my thoughts. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dean. Jeff?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. And I think the petition is going to be placed no matter what. So I don't think it's going to be a distraction no matter how we vote. I think the petition article is automatically on the warrant unless someone tells me otherwise. In terms of the deed restriction, that's moot. The lawyer has already weighed in and said a 30-year term has passed and the deed restriction is now moot. To honor the spirit of Marion Nickerson Ellis, I think, who very much was attuned to the schools being nearby and wanted playground near this property, I think, if we had put a younger family in there and made it affordable, attainable, that would certainly support the sentiment and the philosophy of Marion Nickerson Ellis. And I don't know if they're descendants that we could tap that might have more insight there, but I don't think affordable and attainable housing would go against Marion Nickerson Ellis's wishes and/or her descendants. The property, folks, has laid fallow for decades. It is rotting. We as a board, and I've been a member of the board now this is going into my 8th or 9th year, have done nothing with that property. Now we have a viable petition at a time when folks are tuned to affordable and attainable housing and increasing the inventory here in town in a beautiful lot. Happens to be on Old Harbor Road. Could be in the Marconi. It could be fixed up and have perhaps 2 families there. Now, there's no guarantee that it can go to a Chatham family. And again, we've done nothing with it. I think the property is an embarrassment. Now we have a viable petition by petitioners that care about having young people and younger folks live in this town. So it's not going to be no surprise to this board or the town that this select person is going to vote for it and is going to support it. I don't believe it's a distraction. If we're committed, let's make a commitment. So I'm going to vote positively for this petition, and I support it unequivocally. And I think it's a wonderful location for a younger family and young folks in town. And I really think it's time we got off the dime. You can dipsy doodle around this stuff forever. It's time we got off the dime as a board. We've made major commitments for this town meeting, and I think this is about one of them. Let's put it in the mix for when we had that consultant that comes in and said, hey, what's your menu? What do you guys got? Hey, we also have this beautiful piece of property on Old Harbor Road that we'd like to throw in the mix as well. And I think it's a very, very viable petition I'm going to support. Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. I was going to say the same thing about getting it into the mix because this is an opportunity for us to look at how we can be creative with some of our access or conceivable access properties in Chatham. I think it's a beautiful area. It's a beautiful area to grow up. You're near the school, you're near the community center, you're downtown. I mean, it wouldn't be great to see, a year-round residents, families living in that area and being able to live in a great part of town. This is part of the plan, and I just look back and come up with anything. Not one thing about this property in the amount of time that we've had it, except that it's used for storage or it was an overflow for the water department for a time being. But it's just an example of not wanting to have something be done with it because it had a deed restriction, because it was, because it has more value. Families and people in this town have value. Year-round residents are worth a lot to this town in what they can bring to the economic part of the town, the cultural part of the town, everything. And so I really want to see this be part of our conversation going forward. If we don't do it now and just hold on to it and we decide to do it next year, why not now? So I'm going to vote in favor of this, and I'm going to move this as forward as I can, as passionately as I can, as I'm going to do with the transfer fee. I'm going to do with the special legislation on the CPA. on the housing, on the land, on everything, because now is the time that we as a town have got to do something very substantial about affordable housing and attainable housing to get people to create a more vibrant and year-round community. So saying all that, I think we need a motion to place this petition article on.
I think it's
on the warrant.
placed.
It's placed, and we have been voting those petition articles weird.
Okay.
So, all right, so it's a vote to recommend the article. Vote to recommend.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I'm good. Okay, thank you, Peter. All right, we'll take a vote. Corey?
Nay.
Peter?
Nay.
Dean?
No.
Jeff?
Aye.
And the chair says aye. So the vote was 3 against and 2 for. All right. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
All right, we have one more article, and this was this came in last minute. Alex, I guess we need an explanation on this is a CPA article that has not been considered by the Community Preservation Committee yet, but you will give us an explanation about what's going on. And I think Michael's here as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I received a phone call from the applicant last week, and on Friday, I think he called me on Thursday. I returned the call on Friday and said, I was just checking on the status of my application. And I had never received an application through the online portal. I checked with the chair, Mike Thompson, who is on the call as well, and he had not received the application. So I asked the applicant to please forward us the application, which is included in your packet, along with the confirming email that he did indeed get confirmation that his application was submitted in a timely manner by the cutoff date of January 15th. So further that, we are checking with IT to see why this happened. We didn't find any other errant applications, which is good to report. So that's a little bit of the background. And what this is this is an application which is coming from Penrose LLC, who is looking to develop affordable housing at the former Cape Cod 5 headquarters in Orleans. You might have read something about that in the recent press. It's been reported in the Cape Cod Times, what they're looking to do. And they're looking to provide construction to provide 62 family units, including 52 affordable units and 10 workforce apartments in that building located on West Road in Orleans. This application is requesting $100,000 contribution from Chatham, and they've also reached out to other towns. I know Eastham has committed funds and Orleans as well, and I think they've reached out to 4 other towns for contributions for this affordable housing.
Okay.
And we're asking that the CPC has scheduled a meeting for this coming Wednesday to consider this application, because as you know, it cannot go on the warrant without the CPC's the Community Preservation Committee's recommendation. So any vote that you would make tonight would be contingent upon a positive recommendation from the CPC.
Okay. That was my technical question for the public. All right. Any questions on this on this from the, okay, Jean?
Yeah, Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Dean.
Okay. I have a question, I give either for Jill or Alex. So if we were to take action on this tonight, but the CPC doesn't meet until Monday, are we going to be able to close the warrant tonight?
I don't think so.
Yes, because it will automatic, if the CPC recommends it, it will automatically get placed. So that's our interpretation. Alex,
We typically take votes to, I understand that, and I alluded to that earlier, but we typically take a vote to place something on the warrant, even if it's a CPC article.
If I may?
Yes, go ahead, Alex.
Yes, and that's, I think what I had requested is that you place it on the warrant pending the positive recommendation of the CPC, which will be this Wednesday. So it will be before the end of this week, so there is time. as long as it's placed. And I think we're looking to, even though the warrant's closing tonight, that's why we want to make sure it gets on there. However, if the CPC does not recommend it, then we'll just not include it on the warrant before it goes to print.
So, Madam Chair, I'll offer a motion.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily suggesting that I think the CPC should recommend that this go on the warrant, but I'll offer a motion to place this on the warrant contingent upon an affirmative vote from the CPC to place this on the warrant.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All right. Further discussion. We have Peter, then Jeff.
Yeah, I guess my question is, and Dean sort of asked it, is there a necessary reason for us to vote either affirmatively or not on this now? We could always do it on the floor, because I would like to hear what this CPC has to say, and I have some real reservations about this, only because I'm trying to understand. I know that Orleans did something like this for Eastham, but what does this mean for all the rest of us when we look at, if we put affordable housing up, are we going to go out to all the towns and ask them for $100,000? I mean, I just don't quite understand it. If we had a strong county government that would put the plan together, maybe it makes sense, but I just don't understand it completely. Thank you.
Alex might be able to respond.
Yeah.
Alex?
Yes, I'm not requesting that the board make a recommendation either in the affirmative or in the negative on the application. We have not heard the merits of the application. And as such, as Selectman Kukulis just mentioned, the CPC might not make a recommendation to forward it to the warrant. So again, more will come on Wednesday, but in the essence of being fair to the applicant who had submitted the application in a timely manner, however, the CPC hadn't had the application before them to consider, we thought this was a fair way to move forward.
Okay. Fair, thank you.
Okay, Jeff?
Okay, thank you. Just so we're all clear, when then does the select board get a chance to vote on a recommendation? That would only be after the CPC forwards it back to us? If we close the warrant tonight, there wouldn't be any note of a recommendation?
That's correct. If you close the warrant tonight and the CPC recommends that it is move forward to town meeting, at least the article will be contained on the warrant. However, the recommendation will come from town meeting floor.
And then I don't mean to interrupt, but then we would discuss as an agenda item in one of our future select board meetings.
That's correct.
Yes, before town meeting, yes.
Okay.
We'd have better. So we're placing it as a matter of contingency. Okay.
Okay, yep, I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any further questions? Do we have a vote to place the CPA Orleans Cape Cod 5 housing article on the town meeting warrant pending Community Preservation Committee recommendation? Dean, did you make that motion already?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. And we had a second.
I used the word contingent.
Contingent, correct. Okay. So Corey?
Just for clarification, CPC affirmative recommendation or a recommendation?
My motion called for a contingency, and my motion was that the CPC vote to recommend this. I use the word place, but the implicit was that they vote to recommend this article to town meeting. If they don't recommend it to go to town meeting, then it's not printed in the warrant. It won't be placed.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay. All right, let's take a vote on this. Peter?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye, I guess, yep.
Dean?
Aye.
Chair says aye. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Alex and Michael. Appreciate that. All right. So now we are at that point. Do we want to vote the lineup, Jill, before we close the warrant? Is that how we do it?
I would ask that the board vote to close the warrant, just so we don't forget to do that tonight.
Thank you. Take a motion to close the annual 2021 annual town meeting warrant.
So moved.
Motion. Okay, a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Except for me to say thank you very much. This has been a pretty hefty one, Jill and team. So appreciate everything, coordinating it and getting it together. Again, We have a very different town meeting this year, so still, we're at our new normal, I think, but thank you very much to everybody who put it together. Let's take a vote. Cory,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
chair says aye. All right, everybody give yourselves a hand for getting through this.
Wow.
All right, yeah, hefty one. Okay, so now we have the sort of the who's going to do what, when, and where. And I thought, Jill, I don't know if you have a method to your madness on this. I know usually it goes down every other one, or we do a succession, but I'm sure there's a few articles that people want to present and speak to the motion. And also, I think, Jeff, you had a concern about a placement of one of the articles that you'd like to maybe move up. And I'm thinking that maybe we just move down the CPA articles a little bit in order so that the housing articles get considered. I think that's what you were looking at, was the special legislation pieces.
I think that the ordering of this warrant is very important. And I think how we present it to the voters and the timing of it is very important. And I'm going to ask the question, is it important that this evening we array these warrant articles? Do you need this tonight, Jill?
Yes, because we then have to put the order within the warrant. Shauna has to actually cut and paste to put it in order. This is different, though, than what you've seen in the past. Before, we've only ordered like the first 8 articles. And so we've done some reordering for you as suggestions, and you're welcome to reorder further. I do want to just note before it gets a little convoluted, if you could let us know with the current articles as they currently are numbered, which ones that each board member specifically wants to address.
Okay.
Then that reference will be an easier point to track for us. And
Got it.
Order them and so forth.
Okay, so why don't we just go around, unless there's any specific preference, anybody wants to go first, but I see Dean's hands up, so he wants to go first.
Well, actually, Madam Chair, my hand was up from last time, but I would like to just go first with one, because I have only one or 2 preferences, and they're actually the way they are arrayed right now.
Hey, everybody, we're getting a lot of paper shuffle, and I can't hear very well, so.
On the listing that Jill and Shauna have put together, item 14 is the library capital project. Item 15 is 1610 Main Street, and the senior center. Item 16 is 1610 Main Street, the zoning, and I think those should stay exactly where they are. And I don't feel particularly strongly about anything else in terms of placement, although I suspect we'll want to place affordable housing close after that.
Right. And I think what we were going to do first before we start to do the order, and I think we're all on the same page there, is pick the ones that people want to speak to specifically. Correct, Jill? Is that what you're asking first? Go ahead, Dean.
I'd like to speak to those 3 if I could.
Okay. Anybody else have any objections to what Dean wants to speak to?
Excuse me, Madam Chair, but which 3, Dean? I'd like to speak to COA also.
The library and the senior center, although Peter, since you were on the working group, I would defer to you if you would prefer to do number 15, which is the senior center. Maybe you should do that.
Okay.
But I would like to do 14, and maybe you might want to do 15 and 16, which is the senior center articles.
Yes.
And I obviously I would like to speak to the affordable housing on the CPA attainable housing. I'm trying to find that now. The special legislation.
Yes, that's down on item.
Item 53.
Okay, Dean, I already had you marked there.
Okay, so those would be my preferences to speak to. I'm happy to speak to anything else if folks want me to. But
okay.
Thank you.
All right, Cory. Go ahead, Corey.
I was gonna say, I believe we're gonna consider maybe our Articles 50, 51, 52 moving forward, closer. So I would like to move those closer into the evening if possible. I think there's some rationale behind that. Frankly, I am willing to speak to just about anything on the article, on the agenda, as long as I don't have to pronounce the word physical this year. I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Corey, thank you for being so flexible. Peter?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I was going to say how we split up the affordable housing. Each of them, I'll take any of them. As a matter of fact, I don't have a real problem with that. And are we speaking to any of the CPA articles, or is that going to be just? I can't remember. Thompson.
We make the motions going forward, but I think that they end up being in usually in a consent agenda.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct? No, Dr. Thompson makes those presentations.
Okay. Then I won't.
The chair offers the motion too for them.
He offers the motion,
Okay,
so we don't have to.
that's fine then. But I believe also that housing should come right after COA or right in that same vicinity, and then move CPA down. That's no different than what you've had before.
Okay, Peter, what do you want to take other than COA?
I'll take any of the housing ones. Specifically,
Give me one. Do you want to do the acquisition on West Chatham?
Yeah, assuming it goes through and also Middle Road, but somebody else might want that also.
Yeah, somebody else might.
Okay, so if we could just say the number so we can make sure we get it right. So that
Number 25 for Peter so far.
Did you say 45? I'm sorry, I didn't hear
25.
25, okay, got it.
And I could speak to the one, where is it? The bylaw on the, well, Jeff would probably want that one. I could support it. On the transfer fee.
That would be Jeff.
That would be Jeff.
Yeah. Correct, Jeff, you want that one, right?
Yeah.
Any others, Peter?
I don't care, really. It's fine.
Okay, Jeff?
Yeah, I strongly suggest that we take items 50, 51, 52, and 53 and put them right behind the zoning article, number 16. Because these are the most important items we have on this warrant, I believe, as a board. So I would put those, array those before we get to capital projects for wastewater and stormwater, drainage and stormwater. I think we should go right into housing. This is the housing warrant.
I think we should be really concentrating on all the housing up front, and let's really get the job done.
Yep.
Okay.
50.
Yep.
You're going to add 50 and 51. Those are also housing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 50, 51, 52, 53. I would array those right after the Council on Aging, guys.
As well as the acquisition ones as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Sorry. Yeah.
I think that's all we wanted to move, Jill. I think
25,
mostly. Yeah.
So you've got 25 and 26. If it comes to bear, 50, 51, 52, and 53 going right after the Council on Aging. And I would love to move the Monomoy Regional School District operating budget as well. That's it.
You'll move it as a motion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff. I will do, I'll do the Housing Trust, number 51. Jeff, were you going to do 52, which was the transfer fee?
Yes. Thank you. Yep.
All right. Does anybody want to do the acquisition? We have Peter doing number 25. What about 26? Anybody want to do that, Peter?
I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I think Corey spoke up
Oh.
first. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, Corey. Middle Road is number 50. Peter?
Okay.
Okay. All right, I would like to do, as I said, I'll do the 51 and the number 23, which is the dredging. And then you can just, I mean, I think I'm fine with being dispersed everywhere. Jeff, your hand's up.
No, Dean should do 53.
53.
Dean
Dean,
should, yeah.
he's going to do that. It's already
We have
marked.
it.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, yeah, okay.
Are there any other articles that anybody wants to speak to?
No, it's good.
Or, okay. Jill, was that clear enough for you?
Yes.
What about the order?
So we'll keep, so 1 through 20. Okay, I got it. So 1 through 16 is as we have it here.
Yep.
And then we're going to add in 25, 26, 50 to 53 for the affordable housing after that. And then we'll continue on with the capital budget, which are the ballot questions moving down.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
Great. Perfect. That.
Shauna?
Thank you. Can you just clarify who is offering the motion to number 16, if it's Peter or Dean?
I have it as Peter.
Yeah, it's Peter.
Peter.
He's going to do both 15 and 16.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is good.
All right. Anything else that you need on any others? Speak up now, or you'll get assigned.
So just before we move away, so for the petitioned article for 127 Old Harbor Road, the petitioner will make that motion. And so we don't have to assign that. And then the new one for the CPC article, it will be on contingent upon the CPC voting a recommendation for that.
Jill,
Okay,
where is the Old Harbor Road? Is that going to be number 65?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Or would it be 66 if that other
Yeah, that's true.
piece
Yeah,
gets
so it would
stuck
probably
in
be
there?
66.
A bunch of them will be renumbered if
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
C comes in with that.
Correct.
yeah.
All right. Anything else? Anything else on the list, guys? You all set?
No, it's
All right.
good.
Yeah.
We don't need
All
to
right.
take a vote on this, right?
We don't have to take a vote on that. That's just housekeeping.
Okay.
It is 7:27.
Whoa.
We did
Corey,
okay.
Corey wins the pot.
Corey got the closest.
Corey wins the pot.
I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Yeah. So moved, Madam Chair, so moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. Peter?
Aye.
Corey?
All right.
Dean?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Chair says aye. All right, we'll see you back here or via Zoom Thursday night for the Monomoy Regional School District. Jill, thank you. Thank you to the staff for their help tonight in preparation and for the IT team behind the scenes and Shauna. Have a good evening, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.